the show? More talking about the games or talking about
Yeah.
Portuguese soccer?
Hey,
Uh,
did you have the link to post?
yeah, it's already. I'm already live. So, everybody, hello. It's football no filter once again. My host Bruno Ferreira or Bruno Crack. As everyone knows, I'm here with George. George, how's everything, man? You good?
Everything is great. How about you guys?
Everything's everything over here. And we got a guest here, Marco Diaz. Marco, he comes from Massachusetts. I'm not gonna tell you where because I don't want you to be knocking on his door. Um, but Marco, welcome to the show, bud.
Hey, thanks, Bruno. Thank
Okay,
you very much,
so
and hope we have a great show.
we'll have a great show. It's always a great show when we're having fun. All right, so here's the results for this past week. A lot of good results for some teams. For some, not so much. Maritimo, they opened up the round 27 against Gil Vicente. They beat them 2-1. Comeback win for Maritimo. Good win for them. Gil Vicente did not convert on a penalty late in the game. Santa Clara won. Portimonense won. Portimonense lets Santa Clara come back late in the game. Uh, Crucial point for Santa Clara. Portimonense drops 2 points. Aves 0, Porto 0. This one is the one that Porto dropped some points that you can against the last place team. Paz Ferreira 2, Polonense 1. Another Cambayota. Paz Ferreira comes back and wins. Rio Ave 1, Benfica 2. Another Cambayota. Boa Vista 3, Vitória de Setúbal 1. Sporting 2, Tondela 0. Guimarães 1, Moreirense 1. And Famalicão and Braga 0-0 to end the day today. And that's the week. In terms of the table, we have Porto and Benfica up top at 64 points. Sporting follows by 49, isolated now in third place. Braga 47, Famalicão 44, Rio Ave 41, Guimarães 40, Boavista and Santa Clara are tied at 35, Moreirense at 34, Gil Vicente, Setúbal, Bolonense all at 30, Tondela 29, Marítimo and Passo Ferreira 28, Portimonense 21, and Sportivo das Aves 14 points, 7 points from 17th place, and they got a lot of work to do in these next couple of weeks. It doesn't seem like it's very probable they're going to stay. Um, I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Sportivo das Aves Porto game. I'll start with the home team. Sminonek was the goalkeeper, man of the match. Yamga, Buatu, Dikate, Moraes, and Afonso were the back line. Three guys in the middle, Banjuki, Falcão, Estrela, Suarez, and Mohamedi up top. For Porto was Marchesín, Tomás Esteves, debuts in the league at right back, Pep Mabimba, and Diogo Leite at the left back position. In the middle was Uribe, Sergio Oliveira, Diaz, and Corona. And up top was Otavio with Zé Luis. Go ahead. What'd you say, George? Oh, okay. I thought I heard something. All right. So basically, my analysis is simple. Porto had plenty of chances in the beginning. We had some chances. I mean, we were expecting Ops to come out very defensive. That's exactly what they did. Very, very, very defensive. It was once again we're playing with five defenders, and it's getting very difficult playing against five defenders. And when your strikers haven't scored since February, it's not looking good. When your best goal scorers are your two fullbacks, it's not a good day. Uh, this was a game in which Porto, I believe, we play well? Yes. I mean, we had 74% possession or something like that at one point. We created a lot of chances, but unfortunately, we were not able to convert. Um, there was an opportunity somewhere in the middle of the first half where Maj Stivs was able to service I believe it was Luis Diaz, and they annulled the goal. I don't know where the foul is. I have a hard time understanding where the foul is. Everyone said that there was no foul. People are going to say that yes, the whistle was blown prior. It was blown prior, but not as prior as people were claiming that was prior. The whistle was blown right before ball was kicked. If you listen closely, that's what you hear. And I watched the replay many, many, many times to make sure that before I said what I just said, I confirmed it. The ball was the whistle was blown when the ball was facing or level with the goalkeeper. And right after, and it was a very quick play. I know that there's been a lot of people that have said, well, the defender stopped and the goalkeeper didn't react to the ball. Incorrect. They didn't. It's not that they stopped because the play was quick. They just were too slow. It was a very good play, and you could tell. And with the linesman, I have a hard time with the linesman because the rule states let the play go all the way through, and then we can look back at VAR to see if there was a foul or not. That's not what the linesman did. He waved his flag very quickly, and he called the foul for no reason. Now, I think there was a penalty prior to that. No, that was not a penalty. Let's make that clear. I wouldn't have called it. Hopefully, other people in the future can say that, hey, that wasn't a penalty. But there's definitely Zé Luís is definitely a player that I thought that was not the guy to take. I criticized who took the penalty. I don't think that Zé Luís was the person to take it. The guy that needed to take it was definitely Sergio Oliveira. He's a guy that is a PK specialist. He's on the field. I don't know why he's not the guy taking the penalty. On top of that, the penalty was very, very, very badly taken. Second half, Porto had numerous chances to score goals. They didn't do it, and that's that. I mean, we had Marega twice. We had a couple other guys with some chances. It's getting ridiculous with the amount of goals that they continue to miss. I don't understand the substitutions. Why are you taking 72 minutes to put on Suarez? I don't know why Zé Luís came out of locker room and played. I'm very confused, but that's just the way things are. You bring on Abubakar in the 88th minute. Why are you bringing Abubakar on the 88th minute? You need to score goals, and you're bring him on in the 88th minute. I don't know why Fabio Silva's not thrown in this game. I don't know why Vitinha didn't come in earlier. The Uribe, he worked hard, but it just wasn't enough. You're lacking creativity in this midfield right now. And in terms of crossing, I think Porto had a boatload of crosses this past week, and the amount of crosses, especially from Luis Diaz, was horrible. He had one good cross, just one, and they blew it. Every other cross was to the bancada or somewhere else, but it wasn't to Porto players. Marco, since you're the guest, take it away. What'd you see?
Epi, what I see is this beginning of the season is first one before this, after this COVID-19 thing started, or I said that the season was over. In my fear was going to be that these teams need a preseason to get going. And what we've noticed, especially with the big three, is obviously, 3 weeks of preparation hasn't been enough. You've seen lack of quality between Porto, Benfica, and Sporting. That's incredible. I think that's the biggest reasons why especially not Sporting's done all right, but they have no pressure right now. Porto and Benfica have really struggled, um, and I think that's preparation. And I'm not going to go exactly into the game, Bruno, but that's what I'm seeing. Obviously, a smaller team that's defending, it's a lot easier to prepare for a game rather than a big team that's, you know, going full out and battling for a title. Um, a lot of lack of quality in the first 2 or 3 games of this. Getting the season back up again. So as far as Porto goes, it's the same thing, man. They have a lot of quality. They have a lot of great young players that they're trying to integrate into the team. Problem is they don't have the legs under them. You can see, especially in the second half of the games, that how especially the quality drops a lot, and I think that's been the biggest issue for both Porto and Benfica this year. Again, Sporting right now, there's no pressure. There's no pressure to battle for the title, and that makes a big difference. And so, as far as Porto goes, uh, I think they're dropping the ball right now
Hmm.
because, they had every opportunity to be ahead 5 points right now, and Sergio Conceição's got to start motivating these guys, and hopefully, maybe Tuesday against Boavista, you guys will have a better result.
Well, I mean, I know George is going to talk about that in a second about the controversy with that. There is some controversy already about the scheduled date for the Derby the Invicta. That's going to be coming up um, this upcoming Tuesday. George, before we get into that, what did you think about the game itself?
No, I mean, like Marco said, I think overall, so with the game, a lot of much more talent on the Porto side. A lot of opportunities, a lot of missed opportunities, and I think with this whole going to what Marco said, going with this COVID-19 and the lack of preparation for the teams, if you don't score early, I think especially the big teams, they're just feeling this pressure, and the game as it goes, it gets more and more difficult for the big teams. I think the 5 substitutions, like I said before the first game, I think the 5 substitutions, the advantage goes to the smaller teams that are playing defense. And usually, what happens in a regular season, when we're playing a regular season, you see the smaller teams playing against the big teams, and I don't want to say all the teams, but most of the smaller teams, they play in a defensive formation. And you see the big teams, if they don't score early on in the game, you see that towards the second half, maybe the middle of the second half, that's when the game turns, because the smaller teams get tired. Now with the 5 substitutions instead of the 3 substitutions, now you have 2 extra players that the smaller teams can bring in with fresh legs. And like Marco said, the work on the defensive side, you're just playing within your half of the field, and you play a kind of a zone formation or a zone field, and it makes it a little bit easier for you to defense. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the big teams, having a big. And another thing that I see, it's the lack of fans in the stadiums, or the lack of the Juveleiros, Super Dragões, No Name Boys, and all that stuff. I think it's impacting the big teams way more than the smaller teams.
Clearly.
Because when the bigger teams are not performing as well, they feel that pressure from the stands, and now you don't even have that. You don't have that anymore. So now you have the lack of preparation. You're physically, you're not at 100%. You had the cut in salaries. Now you don't have your supporters rooting you throughout the game, and it's just everything is just playing to the smaller teams. But from Porto, I mean, it's been the same thing as with the last couple of weeks. A lot of opportunities and a lot of misses. Marega is missing a lot of opportunities. And I go back to what we said last week. This is the perfect time for you to give some hungry young players opportunities to play. That Fábio Silva that you're talking about, a couple of other young kids, you got to put them playing. You don't put Abubakar at the 88 minutes. You need to win the game. It's like me with my team, and I'll speak about my team later on. Like, I don't understand some of the decisions. You got to win the game. You're in the championship. Estás na corrida para o campeonato. You have 6 or 7, 8 games left. And you decide that you need to win the game, or you decide that you need another offensive player at the 88th minute. To me, it doesn't make sense. but again, a lot of missed opportunities, and that's at the end. That's what's preventing Porto from winning these games. It's the missed opportunities. It's not like like a Benfica. I don't see the opportunities. I don't see the creativity. I don't see it. I don't see the opportunities on goal. Porto is different. Porto, you're seeing the opportunities. You're just seeing like tremendous misses that maybe a 10-year-old can put in the back of the net, and I think that's the problem so far.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree that the one again, I really have a hard time understanding the whole substitution. Zé Luiz was probably the worst player on the field for us that day. And how he comes back at halftime amazes me. I don't understand how and why that is. You have Suarez. You need a guy in the box. I mean, Porto's having 70+ percentage of possession. How are you not having a guy in the area like Suarez where he can win headers? You put him in a pressure spot, Suarez is not the answer. He misses. He's a guy that chokes in big moments. It's always been that way, and I don't understand how Sergio Conceição doesn't see it. Then you throw in a Boubacar in the 80th minute. What do you expect a guy gonna do in 5 minutes of time, 6 minutes of time? He's not gonna do much. He takes 10 minutes just to get warmed up into the game, and you're gonna expect him to just, a ball's gonna pounce on, land on his leg and he's gonna score. It just didn't make sense. I really like the Vitinha substitution. I thought that he was trying to push Porto forward, and you can tell he was dribbling forward. He was trying to make passes forward, not sideways, not backwards. But it wasn't enough. I don't understand why Sergio Oliveira stayed on the field that long. I mean, he's just not producing. He's not producing as much as we need him. I agreed that Danilo should have been benched. I agreed that Mariga should have been benched. And Mariga came in good at the second half. He created 2 opportunities to score. He should have buried one of those, the last one for sure. But every shot was right at the keeper. And, you got to say something about the keeper. This is a guy that very motivated to make his debut or to start ever since Bernardo or whatever his name was rescinded his contract. And he's doing really well. I mean, and I do agree with something that Sergio Conceição said was if Aves played like this throughout the whole entire season, they probably wouldn't be in the spot that they're in right now. They were very motivated. Maybe in the future we'll find out what that motivation was. But that's the game. Porto drops 2 points, and that's the end of that.
Hey Bruno, you trying to get into something else there?
You know it. I like to
conspiracy theater. Always a conspiracy theory with Bruno.
I want to see what
I might not disagree with him.
Well, let's see. We'll see soon what's going on. Maybe we'll find out sooner or later. George, Benfica went to Rio Ave, Avila do Conde. Very difficult game. Luis Godinho comes back in. Save the day, huh?
Unbelievable.
Do your lineup.
All right. So I'll go over the lineup. Rio Ave, Kiesek, Figueiras, Borekovic, Santos, Reis, Musrati, Augusto, Piazon, Lopes, Nuno Santos, e Taremi. Benfica started with Vlaco Dimos, Tavares on the left, Ferro, Ruben Dias, Tavares on the right, Wiggle, Pires, or Gabriel, Rafa, Tarabat, Pizzi, and Diego Souza up top. I'll give you my opinion about the game. Listen, I think I really like Rio Ave. I really like Carlos Carvalhal. I think he's doing an awesome job. I like him. He gets his teams to play really good soccer. He's really not doesn't change his method of playing when he plays against the big teams. He plays. He spent that time in England, and I think he likes that wide open style of soccer, which I really liked. Rio Ave gave Benfica a lot of trouble. First half, A lot of issues. I didn't, Benfica again started very flat. Not a lot of opportunities that I saw. The goal in the first half for Rio Ave, which took the wind out of Benfica again. Coming out of 8 or 9 bad results, and then starting middle of the first half and being down 1-0 already. It took a lot of the gas out of Benfica. Going back to your conspiracy theory, I think there's some doubt in that for me on that goal for Rio Ave. I think the player that heads the ball over to the second post, to the player that scores the goal, I think he's grabbing a hold of the Benfica defender. He actually drags him down when he heads the ball. But again, it's na grande área or na pequena área, there's always contact. It's I don't it's not a não é uma daquelas jogadas, wow, that's a clear foul. So I accept the referee letting it go on and the call. Second half with the again, Benfica struggling in the second half, and then you have the first red card, which I think the foul for the second card is a clear foul in Portugal. Let me clear a little bit. In Portugal, the way it's always called, a parar contra-ataque para mim perigoso já depois do meio campo, it's a yellow card. So I think it was a little bit foolish on the Rio Ave player to even try to stop. And again, Pizzi does his job of trying to sell the card as well, which anybody does. Then you have the Nuno Santos red card. Again, I don't think it's
George,
yes.
Hold on a second. You want to talk about 5 minutes before the yellow card conversation between Bruno Lage?
No, well, that came out. That came out today. Today, it actually came out what the conversation was about, and Bruno Lage was telling him to review the tres lances and then to give him a call. Listen, I don't think yes.
Listen, I just had to interject. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think these people are professional. I don't think I know it's easy for the to bring up those conspiracy theories. At the end of the day, it's a clear red card. I actually posted a similar play, Flamengo against, I don't recall the name of the team, but it was in the final of the Copa Sudamericana, where Arão did the exact same play. The referee turns around, gives him a yellow card. The VAR calls him to the TV to watch the replay, and the referee comes back, and this is like with 20 minutes in the game, and red cards the player. Again, foolish play, silly play. I don't think there's any.
There was a conversation between the coach and the next player before that.
Yeah, but I don't think it's like no portal Super Dragões, aqueles dizem que é para dizer em 3 minutos. I mean, I'm not a lip reader, but you can definitely tell that's not what he's telling them. And then obviously I told him something, and then obviously the goal, playing with sorry, I'm having some internet problems. Playing with 2 players less. Even then, we struggle with 2 players. Even then, we struggle. And before we scored, Rio Ave has an opportunity for the second goal. We tie it up with Seferovic coming in off the substitution. After that, he misses a wide open header that could be the 2-1. Then you have the Benfica go ahead goal. And then you have that other play with Ferro that I know Bruno's going to talk about, so I'm gonna anticipate him. To me personally, and Bruno knows what I am, who I am, and a lot of my friends know who I am, and they don't like it because I like to call it as is. To me, it's not a foul. The play is way too close to the defender. The defender is pulling number one, the arm is not that far away from his body, and he's pulling the arm even back more. So it's not like he's opening it up to go to the ball. He just didn't have enough time to pull his hand. And if you look at the Lage, in those type of cases, where the distance is so close from where the ball originates to hitting the defender in the hand, to me it's not a handball. But I accept other people having a different opinion.
Hey, George, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What did you think of the play Portimonense Benfica? The same exact play that was called a PK for Benfica.
Portimonense.
Send you a video of it.
Last week.
Same exact play.
On the corner.
I don't recall it, but if you want to send me a video, or if you want to do a screen share, go ahead and I'll take a look at it and I'll let you know. I didn't think
exact play. Same exact play, except in Portugal.
It's the one with Tarbat.
Huh?
It's the one with Tarbat from last week.
I'm gonna take a look at it right now.
Okay.
I'll take a look at it now.
You know what? Go take a look at it. I'll let Marco do his analysis of the game, and then we'll go back to that. How about that?
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Marco, go ahead. What's your analysis of this game?
The Benfica game?
Correct. Yes. The
Sporting.
Benfica.
So the Benfica game, listen, I'll be completely honest here. I'm not going to come over here and lie, because during the game I was working. I got some of this, highlights of the game and, certain plays. I have a lot of doubts about what happened in this game. First, for me, the Ferro plays a clear PK. Benfica got helped again, and maybe later on we can get into my opinions of the Portuguese Liga and what's been going on about within the last 6 or 7 years, and with the corruption and everything that's going on. Maybe we'll get into that if you want, Bruno. But as far as the game, as far as the game goes, again, that ref has been in a lot of crucial, decisive games over the last 3 or 4 years for Benfica, and I'll leave it at that. As far as Nuno Santos, my doubts are there. And Benfica fans can say whatever they want, but I remember a couple of years back in the Sporting game with Tondela, where they questioned the guy up and down, and there was press reports about him helping Sporting. So maybe it's just due that we can do the same about what happened to.
Hey, Marco, let me ask you a quick question. So the doubts, I understand the doubts, but since we're talking about the Portimonense, what did you think of the Porto Portimonense in Estádio do Dragão, where Jackson Martinez thinks he's playing he's the kicker for the New York Giants, and then he shows up at the end of the game abraçado ao presidente.
George, maybe we can have that discussion as well, my friend. But
it's all the clubs are the same.
Hold on a second, George. You gotta understand something. George, you gotta understand that, because there's a lot of Benfica fans that like to pull out that play, but you gotta look back at his track record. He missed a penalty against you guys the same exact way. So that's the way he takes his penalties. He looks for high and he wants to roof the net. That's what he wants to do. He wants to hit it high and right under the crossbar. Unfortunately, he misses. Against Porto, he missed. But he's missed against Benfica. So you're telling me, or I have to ask you, why would he miss against Benfica? And he's on playing for Porto. Why would he do that?
Yeah.
So that's my argument with Benfica fans when they talk about Jackson Martinez. Jackson Martinez wasn't going to miss it at all. And in games prior, the 2 years that he's played at Portimonense, he's played against Porto. He's always tried to win. He's always tried to score, and he's always tried to win. Now, this whole thing with Nuno Santos, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say, do I think he did it on purpose? I wanna give the kid a benefit of the doubt, but it is very suspicious that you see, and he's nodding. So he's nodding. Why is he nodding to Brunoise? That's the only thing that I have. That's the only question I want to know.
Because he's telling him to go, he's telling this. You go home and you watch the Tres Lances, and he went like that, dude.
How about the phone call signal?
Listen. That's what it came out. That's what it came out today. That he told him, go home, watch the Lance, and then call me. That's today a lip reader. It's in the ball. Listen. I think there's corruption in Portugal. Definitely corruption in Portugal. But I think the corruption is in the back office. I don't think it has nothing. Players, especially in the middle of a game, dude. At least cover your mouth if you're gonna say something like that. I think it's it just sells a lot of newspapers, and it just excuses a lot of the teams that aren't winning, and Benfica included. I think last week I said that when Bruno asked what the score would be, I said it was going to be a tie. That I have no confidence in Benfica, and we struggle even with 2 playing against 9. We still struggle. Did we deserve to win? Maybe we didn't. But to take that all the way to corruption, and this young kid, did this purposely, I think that's taking it a little bit too far.
All right. Well, the one thing I want you to understand, and when we talk about corruption, I know Marco's thinking about this, and maybe listeners forget. I know I was paying attention last night. I was able to jump onto our No Filter Facebook page, and I saw a lot of people talking about corruption. I just want to remind certain fans of ours that there are 3 players in Rio Ave, 3 in the past, that have openly said that they were approached by someone from Benfica to throw a game. And this is in court. This is documented. It is people that have, under oath, have sworn that they were attempted or bribed by Benfica to throw a game.
They all say number one, in Portugal não se mente nada. Isso lá não se mente nada.
The name of the agent's called Boaventura.
Boaventura. Cesar Boaventura.
Is he part of the structura from Benfica? Does he make decisions for Benfica?
I don't think he makes decisions.
Facebook on his.
He doesn't make decisions. He's an independent agent that negotiated 1 or 2 players for Benfica. Unless you tell me, unless there's proof, and you tell me that Luis Felipe Vieira, Rui Costa, somebody from the structura went and attempted to bribe a player.
Hey George,
listen. Porto could be paying a player to go to court and say that, and not something that would surprise me. Go to court and say, listen, these people from Benfica, they attempted to bribe me. There's got to be a lot of.
Marco, go ahead. You have a question.
Of course.
I'm not throwing anything out there. This says that Boaventura. You should Google his name, okay?
I know who Boaventura is.
You've heard of him?
No, I know who he is. Not a good guy at all. No.
Not a good guy in Portuguese soccer. Not a good guy to be affiliated with your club. Just saying.
Yeah, but he's not affiliated with the club.
Well,
but he has been caught.
He seems to think he is.
He's got a Facebook page where I think eu acho que ele tem mais ódio ao Porto do que amor ao Benfica.
Well, the thing with Marco, the one thing, he has been seen at Estádio da Luz, and it wasn't in the downstairs in the fans.
I saw Estádio da Luz no Seixal também.
Prontos. So he has access somehow. He has. I mean, I'm pretty sure George shows up today. Estádio da Luz, and they're like, "Hey, get out of here."
He's an agent.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
not that kind of agent, George. If you're an honorable person, you're not going to let that type of people into your
organization,
your office, or your
organization.
Man.
Yeah. So I mean, the one thing I'm going to say about the penalty, I'm gonna say this. I disagree with what George is saying. George, says that he is not sticking out his arm. I don't see him trying to shrug his arm in. I see him extending it out. So he's adding
That's
value to his body.
that's not correct. You could see that in
That's my opinion.
any replay. You can see the replay from the back that the arm is go behind his back. And then
Okay.
the only thing that you can say something about, it's when he's pulling it back. Ele pode fazer assim com o elbow a little bit to the front. Mas que ele está a puxar para trás, está a puxar para trás. It's clear that he's pulling it back.
Let's just say hypothetically, I'll use what you just said. He sticks his elbow out. That's what I see. Now that's what I see. And again, we could be three referees. We could see the same play, and we have three different analysis. So my analysis, as if I was the referee, that's what I would have seen. But the one thing that I think a lot of people are missing is that was a pass to a player that was making a run to the back from behind Ferro, and he would have been isolated with the goalkeeper one-on-one. There was not a trailing defender running with that attacking player. It was one player that was going to be isolated one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and I think that is where I believe it should have been called a penalty. So I do want to make one more statement. Godinho is in the last two wins for Benfica. Last two wins. When you're struggling, make sure you call Luis Godinho, Padre Godinho, and he helps you guys out.
Well, that's and I could turn around and I could say the same thing. O presidente da Liga, he was your go-to referee every time there was a derby. Every time there was a derby, era o Pedro Proença, e havia sempre penaltis fantasmas. Não. Havia sempre penaltis fantasmas, havia sempre os cartões vermelhos, havia isto, havia aquilo. Então tu estás a falar, olha, antes era o Mota, agora é o Godinho, para a semana vai ser outro, vai ser sempre outro. At the end of the day, it's like this. You had a lot of opportunities to score, and you missed a lot of wide open nets. A lot of wide open nets.
But it was hold on a second. I like when people say that because I hear people say that, oh, well, you had an opportunity to score and blah blah, you should have scored. The difference with the Porto game, yes, they had a penalty that they should have scored. However,
how many are those in the last 2-3 weeks?
What?
How many penalties does Porto have that aren't penalties?
That were called?
Yeah, that were called.
Well, because you're talking about the ones in your opinion that are not that were called. What about the ones?
Not only my opinion. Not only my opinion.
The ones that weren't called. There's ones that were not called. Não esqueça.
Mas o jogo que tu estás a falar, tu estás a falar também no mesmo jogo que havia ao contrário penaltis para outra equipa que também não foi chamado. We talked about it and the game would have still ended up with a loss by a goal.
But we lost. We didn't. Different. We lost points. You guys didn't lose points. You won points. That's the big difference that you Benfica fans don't understand. Now another thing
did you see? Go ahead.
The difference is because I hear a lot of people talking about, oh well, you guys missed a penalty. Yes, we missed a penalty, but you know what's much greater than a penalty is a clean goal. And there was a clean goal that was disallowed for Porto this past weekend. That would have been 3 points.
It wasn't a clean goal because the referee had called it before the. You could podes discutir if the referee should have called the foul and not allow the play to continue, and then go to the VAR and look to see if there was a foul. That's what the rules ask for. But you can't say there was a goal because the play was called dead before the ball entered the net. So you can't say that it was a goal.
I don't see anything wrong with the play. A lot of people said that they didn't see anything wrong with the play. That's the one thing that people don't understand. We can also go back to the Porto Rio Ave game, 3 centimeters and a penalty that was not called. That's 2 points robbed by Porto or from Porto. So, I mean, did you take a look at the jogo and all those newspapers that you like to look at and see what the referee said about that play? Which one? Which play?
The one that you're saying, the one that you're saying that it was a penalty, the Ferro handball.
Again, you can have 10 different people.
but you bring those same people up when it's Porto place. So you got to be consistent about
it. I am consistent.
Bruno and George, can I ask you guys a question?
Go ahead.
Can you maybe you guys, especially you, Bruno, since you're involved in college soccer, maybe you can explain this rule a little better about the substitutions, because from what I read, the substitution rule, there's 3 occasions where you can make 5 substitutions. Benfica took 4 occasions to make 5 substitutions. I don't know if you can look that up a little bit, because there seems to be a little bit of confusion about the halftime, or from what I understood from the rule is you have 3 chances to make a substitution.
Not
and
4.
You can make 5 players, not 4. Benfica had made 4 different substitutions this game.
That is correct. No, you are correct. There is 3 specific times where a team could make substitutions. Out of 5, you have 5 substitutions. You have 3 different opportunities.
So nothing's changed. You can make 3 substitutions, but you can change 5 players.
Yes. So let's just say this. Now, this is something that has not been brought up on Portuguese media, but this is something that has been thrown out, which is what? Right, no, but which is what, Marco? The thing is that that's a technical mistake on the referee. And if Rio Ave really wanted to protest the game, they have a case. Now, I'm not saying that the case is going to go forward and positive in their favor. What I'm saying is, Ron, exactly. Now, I'm just saying they have the ability, if they wanted to protest the game, because that's a major error on the referee's part. Once again, Luis Godinho in the center of controversy. Once again, I want to see at the end of the season what his rating is going to be, and if he's going to continue to be one of the top referees in
Maybe George has an opinion on that.
Godinho é padre meu.
No, George.
No, on the substitutions.
Yeah.
The new rule that was put out for 5 substitutions
in three occasions. That's the rule. It was allowed. It was a technical mistake. So those referees that allow the substitutions to take place, they should go para saco and not referee any more games going forward.
But George, in the Benfica game, there was Benfica made substitutions, 5 players in 4 different occasions. So I'm not sure. There's a little bit of confusion there about the halftime rule, and I'm just wondering what you think of if it's legal or if there's a reason there for somebody from Rio Ave to protest the game, because obviously
they could
infraction of the new substitution rules by Benfica.
They could protest the game, but it's not the Benfica. Benfica is not the
Rio Ave could. Or
no, but that
competing with Benfica for the title.
No. Well, I think what George is saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, George. What George is saying is this has nothing to do with Benfica. This is now with Rio Ave in the league.
The league, exactly.
If Rio Ave decides to protest the game, they have to do it through the league again, and then it has to go through approval. This has nothing to do with Benfica, so I'm going to want to make it very clear. It has nothing to do with Benfica. It has to do with the league. The league has to approve it.
Yeah. But hey, Bruno, do you see the post I made about how the rule is written?
If the post is made, yeah, I saw that. I read it.
Did you see my post?
I read it closely.
What do you think?
I think that you have there is definitely, it is pretty clear that you can only make 5 substitutions on 3 separate occasions. That's how I understand.
Benfica made
4.
5 substitutions in 4 occasions.
4 occasions. So technically, they can, without question, protest the game if they wanted to. We don't know if they will or not. Maybe they feel like it's not worth their time, but it's a possibility.
Well, it's worth a title, you know. Just saying.
Hold on, it's worth the title for Porto. It's or Benfica,
Well,
not for
arregla
Benfica.
sobre todos, pá.
No, but
Arregla sobre
Rio Ave, what do they have to win out of it? I mean, do they have anything to win? I mean, is it going to be enough for
3 points?
for it? Listen, that's their prerogative. That's their business if they want to go through that trouble or not. We don't know if they're going to go through that trouble. I know that our listeners are probably noticing Steph just joined us. Steph, go ahead. Welcome to the show. What? Go ahead. I open it up to you.
What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about the 5 substitutions, and it was done 4 different times.
By
the Benfica
in the
Rio
Benfica
Ave
game. In the Benfica game, Steph, there was 5 substitutions made, but there was 4 different times that they were made. The rule is, and it's clear, you can only do 5 substitutions on 3 separate occasions, not 4.
Meaning, so you would have to sub 2 players at the same time.
Correct.
or 3 players at one point. It doesn't matter, but you can only nothing. I'm sorry, Steph. Nothing's changed with the 3 substitution rules. All right, so you can make 3 substitutions on 3 different occasions, except you got to either do 2 or 3.
Got it.
Accordingly.
Got it.
So Benfica made 4. They made it on 4 different occasions.
So the APAF fucked up.
The ref.
Yeah, the APAF. APAF, it's the
federation.
The association, not federation, association. Well, it's not, you know. I mean, Bruno and I will disagree on a lot of stuff, but this is one of the things I will agree with him. Why does it happen on Benfica games all the time? These kind of mistakes, it goes beyond my understanding. It's easy to say APAF fucked up, which they did, but is there anything behind the scenery? Now there's a doubt. Now we're going to be like, what the hell happened? Why was this allowed? And it's constantly the same mistakes going towards the same club when they need it the most. We'll talk. I don't know if you guys already spoke about Porto, because we could. I'll just put my 2 cents on that. That Porto, they didn't win the game because of the players not being competent. They were incompetent. They missed too many easy goals. But the Benfica game, they got a lot of help though. The 2 players, the 1 red card, it's a no-brainer. It's a red card. The kick on the chest, that's a red card. But the message from the coach to the player, I don't know what he said. It would be great if we had some audio to double check what was said to the player. 3 minutes. I don't know. I mean, I'm not.
Hey, Steph, can you lip read?
Huh?
Can you lip
I
read?
know. We could get that guy that was translated for Barack Obama once. But to wrap it up on the Benfica game, the first red card, which was 2 yellows, aquilo foi bocadinho forçado. And for Benfica to win the game against 9, it's easy. And if they played against 11, they wouldn't have won the game. And that's what's disgusting about the Portuguese league. It looks like they always find a way to help a certain club, in this case, Porto Lisboa Benfica, when they need it the most. And to me, if I was a Benfiquista, I would be disgusted. And I think most Benfiquistas are actually, with the performance of the team, winning against Rio Ave against 9 players. It's nothing to brag about. It's nothing to be fucking proud about, because they still play shit.
I like the language.
Can you guys see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, well,
If
we can see you.
it's feio
We
para
see you.
caralho.
Hold on, I
What
got
do you
it.
see?
There we go.
What are you seeing now?
Yeah, Rio Ave Benfica. Go ahead.
All right.
Do your thing, George.
Who's doing this?
It's
I
George.
am.
George has got it.
Oh, that's great, man. You are a smart individual, I gotta tell you.
There's no audio though.
Oh, you can't?
No, there's no audio.
Oh, crap.
Só está a falar merda também.
Now, just remember, George, I just want to point something out to you. The guy that you
Yeah.
got on the screen is Duarte Gomes, for people that don't recognize him. Duarte Gomes, a couple of weeks ago in the Famalicão Porto game, he said that was a penalty on Pep. So remember, you and Steph said that wasn't a penalty. He said it was a penalty. So make sure that you keep it consistent, okay?
But you can't hear the audio, correct?
No.
I cannot hear the audio. However, George, I did read his comments, and he said that it was not a penalty.
Not a penalty. Both yellow cards were correct yellow cards, and the red card was a correct red card. So no foul on the.
Mas há uma falta de consistência, a dualidade de critérios. If you're gonna be so
I agree. I agree.
If you're gonna be so harsh on Rio Ave with yellow cards, the same should apply for Benfica players.
No, I agree.
Benfica
I agree with that.
Wouldn't have finished with 11 players as well. That's what people don't realize. Don't focus only on what happened. Focus also on what could have happened that didn't happen against Benfica. And that's the thing that bothers me as a soccer fan and neutral in this case. It's like, that's sempre contra os mesmos. Até contra Benfica. Because
Listen, I agree. I said it at the beginning when I was talking about the Benfica game. To me it's embarrassing that Rio Ave was controlling the game when we were playing in 11-on-11, and even 9 against 11, we were still struggling to win the game. So I mean, but the plays itself, the plays that we're talking about from this referee, which he goes both ways. He talks about, when he thinks Porto is right, when he thinks Sporting is right, he says it. All the calls on the Benfica game were good calls. The penalty, including the Ferro play as well, because the play was too close. The ball was too close to Ferro when it left the other player. That's the only thing.
All right. We're gonna move forward because I know this one is fun for Mungus.
I like that. Hey, by the way, I'd like to introduce myself to Steph. Hey, Steph, I follow your Twitter page. You got a great page there, kid. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you, Marco.
I know we repeated a couple of messages a couple of times, but
thank you. It's finally nice meeting you.
You too, my friend.
We have a podcast that would last many years.
By the way, I am a Brunista, just so you know. So be careful.
I just got this jersey today.
I love it.
I like that one. Yeah, that one's good.
I ordered it from Macron from Italy.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, I decided to wear one of the old time ones here also.
Yeah, I know. That's a beautiful one too. I like it. It's different.
I just don't like the hat, dude.
Yeah, this is no name boys from Newark, not from over there.
Chapéu, só tem aquele.
Não, tenho muitos, não tenho, mas é cabelo, chapéus tenho muitos.
I'm black also, dude.
It went to my lower back.
All right, let's look. Today we're outnumbered, so let's go over the Sporting game. You guys take it over now.
Now that Marco's on, Marco, I know you got your lineup ready to go, right? You've had it some time. Go ahead, go with your lineup for
to be honest with you, I could care less out of that Tondela lineup. Honestly, I'm going to talk about the Sporting lineup because finally we got a coach with a little bit of a tomates verdes, não vermelhas, like they were saying. I'm loving aposta na formação. Sporting, we can put them up there with the Ajax as formarem jogadores.
Ajax.
And
Orlando.
Well, we just don't.
Marco, not to cut you off, I'll read the lineups real quick so people can understand what you mean by the youth.
I'll read it off. So we got Max, a goalie. We got 3 center backs: Quaresma, Quat, Matthew. We got the youngster Nuno Mendes starting on the left side. Camacho on the right side. We got Wendell and Nunes in the middle. Spurad, Juvie, and Plata. All
okay.
Right? And
now I'll read you Tondela. Tondela went with Claudio Ramos, the free agent goalkeeper at the end of the season that no one in Portugal.
Great kid.
He came from Sporting, just so people know. You had Ferreira, Tavares, Sampaio, and Pek Tovik as the back four. In the middle, Valent, Pepelu, Jaquite, and Murillo. And then up top, Richard and Ronan. Go ahead. Do your analysis, bud.
Hey, dude, for me, it's most important is that Ruben Amorim apostar na formação, man. And we got the young kid at 17 years old starting on the left side.
He's 18 now. He just turned 18 2 days ago.
Just saying, crack. Quaresma is going to be a crack. For me, that kid's reminding me, he was a Portista Bruno Ricardo Carvalho. O gajo tem técnica que, para mim, aquele gajo podia jogar a trinco, a defesa central, anywhere, pretty much on the field. And my disappointment is that $60 million Sporting spent in the last year and a half on players that now they're going to be freaking getting rid of. Big mistake by Varandas putting down the formação about a year and a half ago. And did I lose you guys?
No, you're good. You're good. I just posted something. George he's putting the stats up.
Varandas putting down the formação. Sporting has always had the best academy in Portugal. And I shout out to Cabral that came from Batok. I know, Steph, you know a little bit about that Batok and that all that controversy that came with that Cape Verdean club.
Yep.
And now you're starting to see why they spent $400,000 investing in that Cape Verdean club,
Which is peanuts.
Which is peanuts compared to what they spent with Wolverhampton and Wang, right?
Exactly.
So that's a little bit of the politics of the club. And, again, Ruben Amorim, we got to give him a little credit. Either a little credit or they finally realized the mistakes they made and they're trying to correct them. As far as the game, great first half by Sporting, a little bit down in the second half. We're going to talk about some calls. The Quartas missed PK.
Go ahead.
The Quartas missed the PK. And listen, with Sporting, we can maybe get into a different discussion about my opinion of what Sporting should be and what it is in a different section. But good win for Sporting. No pressure for these young kids.
And if you could see on the screen right now, Cabral's goal, a tremendous goal.
You know what I see in that screen is Matthew, right? The Matthew that the press killed during the week, giving her up to Juvie Cabral.
Well, if you read his lips,
the leader, Matthew he wasn't a rat like all of them that left the club. He stayed.
I'm gonna say something about Mathieu. If you watch before he takes the free kick, you can read his lips saying that he wanted him to take the free kick.
I'll put it back so you guys can see it.
Go ahead. If you could get it, well, it's actually
Yeah, I'll stop it. Hold on.
No, it got cut off, George. I don't think that it's on there, but you do see it. He was talking for a while.
You gave him the go ahead, dude.
Yeah, he gave him the go ahead. He told him to give him the green light to take the free kick, and he did it. You know, hey, listen, right now this kid is 2 for 2 the last 2 weeks.
After last week's game, you got to give him the go ahead to take that kick.
Yeah, and now he's going to probably be the free kick taker. And let's be honest, right now, Jovan Cabral is right now the motor of Sporting. He's the one that's driving them forward. It's not Wendell, which is a surprise. It's not any of the other midfielders. It's him. He's the one that's making the team go, and he's getting the job done. Go ahead, Steph. I know you want to analyze the game with your opinion.
Well, going along the same lines as Marco Diaz, this was the best game by Sporting with Ruben Amorim by far. You could see that the players are assimilating his new tactic, which is it's not a secret. He loves the 3-4-3, and you could finally see the routines, the dynamics, the sectors, defensive sector, midfield, and offensive sector connecting together. Not only when they play forward, but when they play defensively, and when they apply the high pressure and low pressure and medium pressure. All cylinders were flying. I saw a team full of confidence. I love our youth. Like Marco said, Quaresma, he gained a lot of confidence. He's playing with a lot of autoridad. You could see that he's very concerned about the quality of his passes, and he nailed it. I think he only had one wrong pass, if I'm not mistaken. But for the majority of the game, he was close to perfection. Cal Plata, he played a phenomenal game. Ruben Amorim put him in a position that he loves, which is more center midfield, more offensively as a midfielder, and he did quite well. He's the one who came up with the direct kick that worked out in the goal. What can I say about Giovanni? If he's 1-on-1, he's going to win that battle, and he probably will score. He could have scored a couple times, but he was the best player of the match on the pitch. He did phenomenal. Sparad is showing that he's a great ponta de lança de raiz. His team just needs to cross more balls to him, and once they find him inside the box, we'll see a lot more goals from him. Noon Mins, wow, for a 17 years old kid, now 18, his maturity level is really high. I'm liking what I see. I think this break benefited more Sporting than actually Benfica and Porto and Braga. They tied again at Famalicão, which Famalicão is a good team anyway. That result actually benefited Sporting. So now we have Famalicão at 5 points and Braga 2 points, and we regained the third spot, which is crucial. And I agree with Bruno on this one because we'll go directly to Liga Europa. So that's very important financially as well. But the whole team, congrats. And, you got to give credit where it's due. That was a good contratação by Varandas. I don't agree on the 10 million. That was way too expensive, of course. But Amorim is a good coach. And like I've said so many times, I don't care about his background being Benfica. It doesn't matter to me because he's a professional. And he's shown that. He's shown that he's put his the club he likes aside, and he's a total professional at Sporting. And don't give me the bullshit that he's succeeding because we have great players, because we had Kaiser, José Peseiro, Silas, all had a crack at it. All of them had a chance to shine, and they couldn't do it. And Mourinho gets there in a couple months, and he puts the team playing like we always ask. We said, parte na formação. Granted, I'm not blind. The formação está apostando na formação. Por quê? Because of the pandemic, and we can buy players. We have no money. But that's smart, and we've said this a long time ago. Why don't you go and with our youth, believe in them And then Mourinho is doing that, and he knows how to talk to you to the young players. You know how to convince them of the system, and now the team is playing well. Is it too soon to say, hey, Sporting will be running for the title race next year? Yes, it is too soon. So let's give it a couple more games, which the next game will be against Belenenses. Frankly, to be honest, it's still going to be at home because in the Cidade the Futebol, so it's just a few miles away with no public. So we're basically playing at home. So we should win that game. But Belenenses is a good team, so we shall see. But to wrap it up, I'm very content with this team, and I'll give all the credit to Amorim because you can see he's a quality coach. And sometimes when people say, "Oh, they need time," no, you need quality, and you have the quality, a quality coach, and he puts all the players playing. And congratulations, Afro Sporting.
Hey, can I go back a little bit at this?
Go, Marcus. Go ahead.
Maybe me and Steph can get into a little bit.
Go for it. Go for it.
Firstly, Ruben Amorim has coached 10 games in the Portuguese League or 12, 11 games, something like that. I'm not up there to put him on the pedestal. Huh?
Hasn't lost yet.
I'm not putting him up on a pedestal yet. I give him credit for apostar na formação. I think, in my opinion, that's always been the way for Sporting, and it's been a way for Sporting for 20, 30 years. This, if you see the players that came out of the academy, Sporting, and with former jogadores. My big problem right now with Varandas in this direção is, Steph, how many head coaches have we had this year?
This year we've had, começámos com o Kaiser, depois foi o José Peseiro, depois foi o Croata.
Não. Espera aí, Peseiro, Kaiser, teve o filho do Manuel Fernandes.
Croata, que nunca foi coach, mas foi coach, não é?
O filho do Manuel Fernandes. I think we've had about, under Varandas, we've had about 5 of them.
5, yeah. Okay, so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Peseiro, Kaiser.
No, you had many more than 5.
O filho, Croata.
Maybe 6. Sure.
6. You did. You had
6.
You had Peseiro. You had
Kaiser.
Não, tinhas o Croata, porque foi quando ele veio e estava Croata
Yeah,
e não,
mistake.
Croata, Peseiro, o filho do Manuel Fernandes.
O filho do Manuel Fernandes, sim, senhor.
Sim.
Kaiser, Silas, este é o 6 pontos, yeah. São 7 a 8.
Yeah, Marco, como eu disse, eu não sou fã do Varandas, atenção. Eu não sou fã do Varandas. Eu fui sempre um apoiante de Bruno Carvalho. But he won, he won the elections. I respect him for that.
How did he win, Steph?
That's another topic we can talk about.
That's another topic. Me and you can have a conversation one day. But anyways,
I don't agree with the way he won the elections at all either. But if it was Benedito, I think Benedito would be given.
Where has been Benedito been since this nightmare started?
I agree with him. I wouldn't get involved either. I mean, I lost. I'll move on with my life. O que é que eu vou estar a dizer? A dar opiniões fleiras, como diz o Dias da
Bem, mas Sportingista é Sportingista. You know what I mean? Já teve aqueles protestos e tem potential candidates for president that should have showed their face. They showed their face during the election, and they hid after the election. It's been Steph, it's been a nightmare with our club.
Yeah, but
I've been a fan of Sporting for
going to help
40 years.
anything.
Over 40 years. I love Sporting, and what we're seeing in Sporting, the division, breaks my heart. It's a divided club. My fear with Sporting right now is that we're going to become Belenenses. And that's my big fear. And until either this president or Rogério Alves decides,
the real president.
I think the real leader, the real president of Sporting is Rogério Alves. Decides to give the fans, the sócios, their voice back, we're gonna keep having problems. And again, my fear is to become Belenenses. Ruben Amorim, he's got balls. I give him credit. But
I think 10 million for Ruben Amorim was actually cheap, and you'll see that you'll see.
listen,
No, I'm serious. You'll see that it was
George,
cheap.
it's been 3 games. We can't already say judge in 3 or 4 games what he's gonna be. Hopefully,
actually,
I hope.
But it has nothing. It has nothing to do with when you're looking at the 10 million euros. It really has nothing to do with the. You can't just look at the scores, right? Since he's been the coach of Sporting, he's launched like 3 or 4 kits from the formação. One of those kits sell for 15, 20, 25 million euros. There's your money back on the coach.
But stop buying, George. But we can't make a decision on 3 or 4 games. Right now, Sporting is not battling for any title. There's no pressure, like the coach said the other day. There's no pressure on these young kids to battle for a title. It's a whole different story or a whole different ball game than where Porto and Benfica are battling for a title. My personal opinion is, obviously, the pressure is big. Battling for a title or battling for third place is 2 different things.
No.
If you guys agree.
Agreed on that. And with the public, that's a different kind of pressure as well. But, Sporting finished with 8 players from the academy on the pitch on that game. 8 players. It's something that we have to mention. And I applaud that because it's something that Bruno mentioned he would like to have at Porto. It's something that Jorge also, and other Benfiquistas I know quite well. They've said they would like to have at Benfica. And they do have the quality players, both of those clubs, because they constantly going to the finals of the Youth Champions League. So it's a shame that the president of Benfica and Futebol Clube Porto, the only thing they're concerned about is the commission so they can make money themselves. Sporting.
Well, unfortunately, Steph, brother, I think we're in the same situation right now.
Oh, we're not because we have no money. So that's why
I disagree because George Mintz was brought back into Sporting, an agent that was outlawed for about 4.5 years.
I agree. But now at this point in time, o Frederico Varandas and Amorim, they see the same way. A aposta na formação, and we're seeing it now.
How did it get to that point, though, Steph?
There's no other option. There's no other option.
Broke. Wait a minute. After no other option, Sporting in the last year and a half spent 60 million euros.
I agree, but I'm talking about this stretch.
The only reason that Steph, go ahead. The only reason Sporting is apostar na formação because they try to salvage the season of the mistakes Veranda made spending $60 million on players that were garbage. And I'm sorry to put it that way.
I agree with you 100%, but I think Ruben Amorim had enough time to analyze all these players at home with tapes and stuff like that, and he came to the conclusion, fuck, I have better players actually na formação de Sporting que esta merda que o Varandas contratou. So that's why o Bolassi, que não valia um corno, e o Gissé foram logo embora, e apostou na formação, porque realmente os jogadores da formação são de mais qualidade que aqueles que tinham lá, que foram embora agora há pouco tempo. E o Fernando, nunca jogou um jogo, estava a equilibrar os músculos.
I agree with you 100%, Steph. But the problem is here, Fernandes a couple of months ago came in and said there was a única coisa que o Bruno Carvalho deixou na formação, até os colchões não prestavam. Remember that quote?
I'm going to invite you to our Sporting podcast so we can talk more in depth about Sporting only. Because
I know, but listen. This is a podcast. We're talking about Portuguese soccer.
Yeah.
Listen, I give Ruben Amorim all the credit in the world for doing what should have been done, and it breaks my heart that if we had a president that talked bad about our formação when we've had. I know Benfica lately stepped up. Porto has got 3 kids in the Golden Ball award. Benfica's got his academy has stepped up, but Sporting has been over the last 20 years the best formação in Portugal, and we had a president that was elected that talked shit about our formação. That's what breaks my heart.
Infelizmente é verdade.
Mas isso da formação ser esquecida, eu acho que não vem do Barandas. Isso aí já vem do ditador Carvalho.
Ué, mas espera aí, ó Jorge, o ditador de Carvalho é que trouxe estes miúdos todos para o Sporting, que estão a aparecer agora.
Claro
E
que
a
sim.
gente...
Trouxe para o
e a
Sporting
gente-
como?
Não,
Como é que trouxe para o Sporting?
o Bruno Carvalho, muitos jogadores estão lá,
Espera
ele assinou e contratou mais da equipa dele.
Espera aí.
Ah.
E eu digo-te mais. A gente ainda não viu o melhor, Steph. O melhor jogador que ainda não apareceu vai ser aquele Joelson Fernandes.
Sim,
Ok?
claro. I can't wait for
You know
him
what I mean?
to be on the pitch.
Mas uma coisa é certa. Aqueles jogadores foram contratados de 2012 a 2012 on.
Mas isso não é, mas isso não tem nada a ver com o Bruno Carvalho. Vocês, o Sporting, mas não é do presidente. Da maneira que isso funciona. O Bruno Carvalho contratou o Jorge Jesus. Quando foi buscar o Jorge Jesus, automaticamente ele está a dizer à formação: vocês vão ficar à parte, porque o Jorge Jesus não é um treinador da formação. Nunca foi, não foi no Benfica, não foi no Sporting, não é no Flamengo, não é em lado nenhum. O Jorge Jesus é um jogador de qual é o teu checkbook, quanto é que tu podes escrever e vamos assim. Agora, o problema do Sporting...
Mas espera aí, Jorge, quem é que lançou o Gelson?
Eu vou dizer. O problema do Sporting, na academia do Sporting, foi perder o homem forte da academia, que é o 1000 homens, ou o que é? Como é que é o nome? O homem dele que foi para o Benfica. Esse é que foi o problema do Sporting. Sim, senhor. Sim, senhor.
Olha, faz aí um bocado, Jorge, faz um favor, faz o Google aí. Quem é o pai da academia do Sporting? Não é Milão.
Não, ele não está a falar no mesmo, está a falar no outro. Está a falar no Scarring.
Mas o pai da academia do Sporting ainda lá está.
Não, claro, nunca
não. Quem é que é o pai da academia do Sporting? O Milhomes está no Benfica. O Milhomes é o chefe.
Ele não está a falar do homem que foi buscar o Ronaldo ao Funchal. Ele está a falar noutro.
Tá bem, mas ele
não, mas ele não.
O Milhomes tem 2 anos no Sporting, amigo.
2 anos? Não, acho que está errado. Posso estar errado.
Foi uma grande jogada do Benfica. Atenção, que foi uma grande jogada do Benfica buscar um homem assim tão competente. Não vamos dizer o contrário. E foi por isso que a formação do Benfica começou a ficar muito melhor, porque o scouting department do Benfica, at this point in time, it's actually one of the best ones in...
Mas o scouting do Benfica não é o Milhomes. O scouting do Benfica, e é por isso que agora o Benfica está também coisa,
É que é o gajo...
Não, é o gajo que agora foi para o Shakhtar Donetsk, que não gostava da maneira. Why are you shaking your head, Bruno? It's the guy,
I'm going to tell you who the scouting the guy for everybody that you guys are talking about. One guy. One.
What guy?
Jorge Mendes.
Não. É o Bota, o que é que foi agora, que foi o ano passado para o Shakhtar Donetsk, para o pai.
Who has the best players?
The players of what?
Who has the best players in his agency?
Okay. No. Listen, hold on. O Jorge Mendes.
O Jorge Mendes não devia estar no futebol.
O Jorge Mendes tem os jogadores já feitos. E quando aparece alguém nas formações do Benfica, Sporting ou Porto, o Jorge Mendes arranja maneira de se meter no negócio, como por exemplo, quando foi a renovação do Bruno Fernandes, ou desse e daquele, ou em vez de pagar a comissão, dás-me 10 ou 20% do passe deste jogador. E é assim que ele se mete.
Claro, ele só pensa em dinheiro.
O pai da academia do Sporting chama-se Aurélio Pereira, ok?
Sim, mas
agora vamos dizer uma coisa. O Varandas há um ano disse que a academia do Sporting estava partida. Ou só falam aí 2 ou 3 jogadores.
Mas não
Mas atenção, que também temos que dar o crédito ao Varandas num certo aspecto.
Mas não tinha. Ele diz isso porque não estava a investir na academia. Ele estava a falar disso porque não estava a investir.
O Varandas
Então,
assinou agora.
estes 6 jogadores da formação que estão a ser agora introduzidos na equipa não foram apostas da academia. O Mehmet Demiral, que está no Juventus, de onde é que veio? Mateus Pereira, porquê é que não apostaram nele? Rafael Leão, esta merda ainda estou à espera dos text messages de Varandas e o pai do Rafael Leão.
Não, o Rafael Leão, o Sporting. Rafael Leão, o Sporting já 16 milhões que o Sporting ganha com ele.
O Rafael Leão, o problema é que
ainda não ganhou nada, está em tribunal.
Não, já acabou, já saiu do tribunal. Não, senhor, já acabou e deram 16 milhões.
Recorreu.
Sim.
Está em tribunal.
Não, senhor, já se terminou.
Não, recorreu, Jorge.
Ok,
He doesn't have the money to pay Sporting.
recorreu, mas é 16 milhões.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the money to pay Sporting.
Para baixar os 16 milhões.
Sabes quando é que ele foi vendido ao AC Milan?
35 milhões.
Então, o que é 15 milhões?
Não,
Não,
mas não é o AC Milan que tem que pagar, é o jogador.
É o jogador.
Mas como é que vai pagar? Não vai não, o Milão não paga. Milão não paga.
Aqui na esquina 69 e dar o cu, olha.
Milão
não tem nada a ver com isso.
George, let me just interject. Milan has nothing to do with this. Lille has nothing to do with this. It's just the player versus the club, and the tribunal of sport has decided that he has to pay Sporting back 16 million. Yes, he could probably appeal and all that other stuff.
He did.
Now, what George is asking is, well, how is he going to pay for that? That's not Sporting's problem.
Mas sabes como é que é? Eu vou explicar. Quando uma pessoa se divorcia e depois you have to pay alimony because you have kids or wife support, é a mesma coisa. Vai tirar uma porção de cheque. É mais nada. Ele tem que receber X por semana. O Sporting vai buscar o dele.
Pois.
Tem que ser assim.
Sabes que é o problema com isto tudo? Vai ser as mensagens entre o Varandas e o pai do Rafael Leão. Okay?
Não, mas o caso já está ganho. Eles estão a recorrer.
Está bem, vamos ver, amigo.
The guy that might have to pay, believe it or not, because then it might have to be his agent. Don't be surprised.
That's his father.
Usually they have a qualified immunity. They have a protection clause for themselves. Eles não são burros, os agents.
Exactly.
Hey, George, who put this up, George?
I did.
Hey, George. Yeah, but that's not final, brother. It went back into judgment. It's back in court. The player has no money to play, so now they got to figure out who's going to pay. I think it might be George Mintz again.
No, he ain't paying for anything.
It could very well be George Mintz. Don't be surprised. That's not a surprise. If he's involved in some way,
and he's been involved from the beginning, and maybe me and Steph can have a video conference one day to talk about the academy, who's responsible, because obviously we found out Bruno Carvalho was not responsible. Who's really responsible for the attack of the academia? E quem fez dinheiro com isto? E quem é que arrebentaram com a vida dele? Ninguém quer falar disso. You know? Jorge, quanto é que o Bruno Carvalho fez com isto? Com o ataque à academia? E agora há-te-me explicar quanto é que o Varandas fez e os Jorge Mendes fizeram com este ataque à academia.
Mas o Bruno Carvalho é que muda a hora dos treinos e tudo para a hora dos ataques. Olha.
Jorge, eu não tenho culpa de tu veres o CMTV, meu. Aquilo nem é um canal. Aquilo é uma...
Não. O Jorge Jesus é que diz que recebeu ordens do Bruno Carvalho para mudar a hora.
Qual é aquele canal fuleiro aqui na América? O TMZ. O CMZ é como o TMZ, caralho. Mas só os parolos lá em Portugal é que olham para aquela merda. Só os parolos é que... Epá, que grande show.
Mas diz-me uma coisa, então também é o Baranda que mandou os tweets e os Facebook posts a chamar nomes aos jogadores e tudo.
Aí ele teve errado.
Manda-me o teu e-mail, eu vou-te mandar
Jorge, aí ele teve errado, Jorge.
Dos bodyguards do Varandas que estavam...
Não.
Os bodyguards do Varandas, ok? Que estavam envolvidos no WhatsApp Messages do Facebook do Ataque Academia. Manda-me o teu e-mail quando a gente acabar com o
Marco, cuidado, Marco, mandar e-mails para o Benfica. Hein?
Não, pronto, mas já somos amigos agora.
Olha as tupeiras.
Olha as topeiras, já.
Epá, eu te disse que era brunista. Cuidado, man.
Não, eu hoje acho graça, porque estão aqui dois sportinguistas, até acho bem nós falarmos um bocadinho mais do Sporting hoje, porque, quer dizer, não faz sentido, não, e é bom esta conversa. Na minha opinião, eu não consigo entender como um sportinguista não vê que o Bruno Carvalho é que coordenou aquilo tudo, mas isso é a minha opinião. Olha, e eu aceito outras pessoas terem opiniões diferentes.
Eu vou-te mandar, depois do podcast, I'm going to send you a picture of something we spoke about last podcast on many titles he conquered for Sporting, and I'll send it to all of you. And then vais ficar de boca aberta e vais dizer assim, puta que pariu, o homem realmente ganha muitos títulos pelo Sporting. Porque eu gosto de lembrar ao pessoal que diz que só gosta de futebol, mas depois quando vibram, quando a Tama Monteiro ganha medalhas pelo Benfica e por Portugal, mas só vibram naquela altura, porque depois quando a gente menciona que o Sporting foi campeão nacional aqui em patins, handball e não sei mais que, ninguém segue modalidades. Mas tu não vibraste quando a Tama Monteiro ganhou?
Mas vibras, tu vibras
temos de ter cuidado com isto, com o assado do Sporting da maneira que está a ir, a gente vai ficar sem as modalidades, pá.
Eu estou a dar uma dica aqui ao meu amigo benfiquista, porque os benfiquistas,
tá bem.
A maior parte deles dizem que não seguem as modalidades, mas quando as modalidades ganham títulos, de repente já estão a festejá-las e já seguem.
Quem é que faz isso?
A maior parte.
Não, olha,
o Sporting tem ganhado esses campeonatos foi contra o Benfica, não é?
Pois, porque o pessoal pouco da gente quando a gente somos campeões de hockey em patins, ou de voleibol, ou de atletismo. Mas quando vocês têm esses títulos, até vibram. Epá.
Mas onde é que tu vês o Benfica a vibrar por um campeonato de handball ou por campeonato de peão ou jogo da crica? Mas alguém vibra com isso?
Estás a ver? Vieste concordar comigo. Estás a ver?
Não, eu não vi
concordar comigo.
O pavilhão do Benfica está sempre cheio dessas modalidades, pá.
Está cheio um pavilhão de 2.000 pessoas, como é que não há de encher?
Aquilo está sempre cheio, meu, sempre.
George, let me tell you, George, I think what they're referring to is people in Portugal. They're more, they follow more the modalidades versus the fans here. Now, Steph is an exception.
What clubs?
No, I'm saying
Portugal.
What clubs?
The fans in Portugal.
Okay. Yeah.
They follow more the modalidades. The fans.
In what clubs specifically? Not all the clubs. No,
tanto faz. I'm just saying. I'm talking about in general.
But specifically, more Sporting, Porto e Benfica.
I don't agree with that.
I do agree with that, big time. You know, and I'm going to tell you something else, George. What Bruno is saying is 100% correct. In Portugal, they follow more maybe than here in America, because you know if you're born here in America and they teach you to love Benfica, it's more likely the soccer team. Which I get that, but don't be a hypocrite when one of your athletes that wears the Benfica jersey, which they wear the Benfica jersey. That's what you should respect. It's Sporting Club, the Benfica jersey, and they win something in judo or handball or basketball, and you guys like it. when we bring the argument that Sporting foi campeão nessas modalidades, vocês dizem assim, isto não interessa para nada. Mas
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
O Monteiro não vale nada.
I don't agree with that.
A Vanessa Fernandes também não vale nada.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that.
E o Picário, que salta no triplo salto, que ganha medalhas para o Benfica, torto e direito, também não vale nada.
Nobody.
I think he's talking in general, George.
Seguidos pelo Benfica também não valem nada. É isso que eu quero dizer. A hipocrisia dos benfiquistas é essa. E eu
let me give.
Uma pessoa como eu e o Marco dizemos assim: o Sporting foi campeão e quem patins não sei mais que no Sporting, isso interessa para alguma coisa, mas quando vocês não são, é uma festa do caralho. Isso para mim.
My friend, I don't see Benfica fazer festa assim all crazy.
Não, às vezes no jornal, quando eles são campeões.
Look, and I'm going to say something, and it's not an attack or anything like that. I'm going to give you a disclosure, a full disclosure before I even say it. Maybe it's because we're celebrating no Marquês de Pombal Campeonatos de Futebol, which I think that's the title that in most clubs that the fans are looking for. Maybe you guys value it more because you haven't won it in a long time. And again, it's not an attack. It's just my thought. But I don't see Benfica going crazy when they win a futsal championship. I don't see Benfica going. I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
Then you're blind because and they should and as they should. When you can
look, and I'll tell you something. We don't even have you go out and you build your own pavilion for 15, 16 million euros. I don't think our pavilion. It's not even our pavilion.
It is. You have two actually.
Well, but it's not something like yours, a brand new pavilion. We don't even spend it in the modalidades like that.
That's different.
Hey,
we had nada avalado. And then this pavilion was a need. O Porto já tinha Caixa do Dragão, que é novo, bastante recentemente também novo. O Benfica já tinha 2 pavilhões há muito tempo. Portanto, o Benfica não precisa construir um pavilhão novo quando já tem 2, não é? Why do you think Benfica has 2 pavilions? Because of the modalidades, caralho. My point again. Because if Benfica didn't give a shit about modalidades, they wouldn't have 2 pavilions. But you guys, sometimes you don't get it. What you win in the modalidades, it's something relevant. And of course, it's to celebrate. And Benfiquistas do celebrate it in Portugal. But the Benfiquistas here in North America, either they fucking idiots or they act like they're idiots.
Hey, Steph, can I explain?
When you celebrate, when you win a championship in basketball, whatever modalidade, é com a camisola do Benfica. E tens que respeitar esse facto. Que aqueles atletas estavam a representar o Sporting Lisboa e Benfica. E, portanto, é relevante celebrar o campeonato conquistado em qualquer modalidade. Até pode ser da malha ou do prego. Não interessa, porque estava ali a vestir a camisola do Benfica e foi campeão nacional naquele ano. É isso que vocês estão a ter. Insultam os vossos atletas. Quando dizem, eu não ligo nada. Estás a insultar um atleta até que vocês estão a pagar o salário.
Can I say something about the
Marco.
So here's the thing with the athletic clubs in Portugal. Sporting, Benfica, and Porto are all athletic clubs. So they have more than just soccer. For us here, we follow soccer. There, if you're a member of the clubs, you can use the facilities of the clubs to bring your young children. You can bring your kids. Here, what do we bring them to? We bring them to a soccer club across, down the road, or
YMCA
gym.
Boys Club.
Their members bring their kids.
YMCA.
Yeah, there they bring their kids to the club to do exercise, to play sports, do everything. That's why that's one of the big benefits of being a member. All right, you can bring your kids there. You can go work out. So modalidades, and last time I was there, I took my son. He's 24 years old now. When we went, he was about 21. And acredito que eu viverei mais ver jogo de futsal que viverei ver jogo de futebol.
É uma única, porque eu sei que o Jorge não sabe, talvez não sabe, mas vou-te dar um exemplo so we can move on with the podcast. When Benfica was the only team holding the football UEFA futsal championship, every time Sporting was champion in Portugal of futsal, isto campeonatos nacionais, a gente já temos muitos agora, vocês não têm o troféu internacional. That was the number one picada que nos mandavam. We won that trophy, and we have a lot more trophies. Campeões
Thank you
nacionais.
to Bruno Carvalho.
E os benfiquistas aí tiveram que se calar porque disseram logo, agora também tem um troféu, né? Mas isso é bom porque é rivalidade saudável. Atenção, não estou a pôr abaixo de ninguém. But all I'm saying is, I hate people that say modalidades a mim não me interessam. Mas depois,
That's what makes an athletic club.
Quando eu vejo no Facebook e no Twitter e no Instagram posting pictures about campeões de futsal e campeões de basquetebol, eu digo assim, olha que fucking hipócrita do caralho. Acabou de me dizer que não ligava nada a modalidades e agora está ali a Which is okay, you should celebrate because you were champion.
Tu és transmontano.
Não sou. Eu sou, mas essas neiras cada frase mais neira. Eu sou de Fast.
Tá bom, amigo.
No, so
All right, we're gonna advance to the show because we're already at 1:34.
Yeah.
Just to kind of finish off the topic of Sporting, we have one of our listeners, Vitor Pinho, and as Steph would know him as Mulingas, la Sportingista. He seems he's very happy. He believes that Sporting investing into their academy, they're going to be winning championships plural, okay, for a good couple of years. So I know he's been a suffering fan for a long time. I think he's a little delusional sometimes, but that's his opinion, and we respect his opinion. So let's see what.
Yeah, Bruno, can I bust his bubble a little bit?
Who? Vic Mulingas?
Yeah, maybe I don't want to be bursting bubbles with Sporting Academy.
Go ahead.
I think unfortunately one of the reasons that George Mintz decided to get involved in Sporting again is he saw the quality. And I don't know if you know this kid, Steph. I think I saw you posting about him, Ricardo Fernandes de Trinco. He's already sold to Wolverhampton for 12 million. I'm reading, and I read in a couple of posts that Juve Cabral is going to Valencia for 15 million. My biggest fear with these kids coming up is George Mintz getting involved in the club, and these kids not staying there very long. That's my biggest fear. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm very wrong, but again, that kid, that Trinco, Silas apostou nele, e aquele miúdo já está transferido para o...
No, and I heard Palhinhas is also coming back to Sporting to go to Wolverhampton as well.
No, Palhinha's not coming back. Palhinha's gone.
He's going to Wolverhampton. He's sold to Wolverhampton.
Again, that goes back to what I just said, George.
Eu entendo o Palhinha, porque ele foi queimado. And he doesn't want to go back to Sporting, and to me, I understand.
Não, eu acho que não é o Palhinha.
He's got no say in it, brother.
Eu acho que não é o Palhinha. Eu acho que vocês têm que pagar já os VMOCs e tem que pôr dinheiro lá dentro.
Também, tens razão.
A gente tem que despachar o Jorge
Mendes. O Sporting, o Porto e o Benfica.
Não, mas despachas para o Benfica e depois como é que vais vender?
O Jorge Mendes, o Bruno Carvalho,
mas ele vende.
Okay. O Bruno Carvalho fez as maiores vendas até aquele tempo.
As maiores vendas? Ele vende um dos maiores
Quem? O João Mário, 42 milhões. Slimani, um jogador que contratou por 500 milhões por 30 e tal.
500 mil.
Então, quanto é que vendeu o Slimani?
Foi 25, mais 5, não?
Então?
Depois o Adriano foi dado, o William Carvalho foi dado.
Não, espera aí, o William Carvalho não foi, vamos aí.
Foi dado.
Primeiro, quando o Bruno Carvalho entrou para o Sporting, o William Carvalho estava a jogar na Bélgica uma equipa da...
Cercle Bruges.
Hã?
Do Bruges.
Espera aí, onde é que estava a jogar o João Mário? Não era no Belenenses? Queres mais?
Mas foi o João Mário. Quem é que os trouxe? Foi o Bruno Carvalho?
Não foi o Bruno Carvalho, também não formou o William Carvalho, que é que ele estava numa...
Agora diz-me uma coisa, agora vamos ser sinceros. Se tivesse lá o Jorge Mendes, o Rui Patrício era vendido por 16 milhões. O Adriano Silva.
Jorge, queres que te diga mais? Um guarda-redes da qualidade do Rui Patrício antes queria no Sporting dos 15 milhões.
Tá, mas estás a falar duas coisas diferentes. Para mim, o Rui Patrício para mim é guarda-redes de 30, 35 milhões.
Isso não foi vendido.
Está bem.
O Rui Patrício foi negociado. Atenção que há uma diferença muito grande.
Mas já estava vendido e o
Sporting não ia ganhar na corte. O Sporting não ia ganhar no tribunal com o Rui Patrício.
O Sporting fez 11 milhões com o Rui Patrício, é sério.
Pá, isso são assuntos que a gente pode falar mais tarde, porque tem detalhes.
Sim, mas o Rui Patrício não é guarda-redes por menos de 30 milhões. O Jorge Mendes, isso é uma coisa que o Jorge Mendes. Mas isso é uma coisa que o Jorge Mendes faz. Ele pode ser o que é, mas ele vende os jogadores muito mais, pelo menos a minha experiência no Benfica,
também.
Muito mais caros do que coisa.
Pois, como o Bernardo Silva, não foi?
O Bernardo Silva sem o João Fela que jogando 6 meses, 126 milhões. 126 milhões por 6 meses. O Bernardo Silva foi 15 milhões sem jogar a quase nada.
E o Cancelo?
Já vamos a 1 hora e 42 minutos.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to move on. I'm going to go to the schedule for next week. We'll get our results in with our opinion. Gil Vicente Aves starts it on Sunday. I think this jornada is going to be going the entire week. There's games every day. Monday, Portimonense Marítimo. Tuesday, Vitória de Setúbal, Rio Ave. Benfica, Santa Clara. And then the Derby de Invicta, Porto, Boa Vista. On Wednesday, Tondela, Paços Ferreira, and Moreirense, Famalicão. Thursday, Braga, Vitória de Guimarães, o Derby do Minho. And Friday, o Derby de Lisboa, Belenenses, Sporting. I will start with Marco, since he's our guest. Belenenses Sporting, what is your result, Marco?
My result is 3-0 Sporting.
3-0.
Vai apostar no Joelson Fernandes. É paralelo da academia e a pôr o Plata no banco e o Sporting ganha 3-0.
Ok.
Está quase a ser campeão já.
Steph, go ahead.
Não, esse campeão.
Não. O Steph vai dar a derrota do Benfica outra vez. E it's a joke from last week.
Eu digo 2-0 para o Sporting.
2-0 para o Sporting. George.
2-0 para o Sporting também.
I say
muito longe, Jorge.
1-3. 1-3. I'm gonna say 3-1 Sporting. Belenenses just doesn't have it this year. We'll go ahead. George, Benfica against o filial dos Açores, Santa Clara.
É tristeza, isso é um jogo dado, caralho.
Eu vou dar o mesmo. Eu vou dar o mesmo.
Buscar o jogo, eles viram a falta de comparência.
Não, isso é o Porto Boa Vista, que já estavam a tentar adiar para o ano que vem, mas agora vai na noite. É tanta andota que vai ser na noite de Santo António e tudo. Eu vou dizer 1-1, Benfica Santa Clara.
1-1.
Sim.
Wow. Steph.
I have no confidence.
Eu digo 4-0 para o Benfica.
Marco.
Quem é o árbitro?
Exactly. Exactly. That's my thought exactly, Marco.
Eles vão fazer 6 substituições naquele jogo.
Tá bem.
Yes.
It's all good.
Marco, what do you got?
Epá, eu vou para os meus amigos açorianos aqui na minha área e eu 1-0 Santa Clara.
Hey. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 2-0 Benfica. I don't believe in Santa Clara at all.
Me neither.
They just don't have it.
Não, é uma filial, aquilo vão abrir as pernas à madre, à casa-mãe.
Agora, o derby de Invicta, which George touched on it, that there was some controversy of the game. I will say that Porto already came out today saying that there's no such thing as trying to get it rescheduled. That was something that I think Avala or Sam TV or something that started the rumor. Obviously, they're not going to be able to reschedule because the games are already fixed all the way up until the last day of the or last match week of the season.
It's fixed, all right.
For Benfica, yes. For Benfica, yes. So I'm going to say Porto Boa Vista. I'm going to keep going 1-0 Porto. It's going to be a very difficult game because Boa Vista once again is going to come out with 5 defenders. And not to mention that they're coming out with a couple of good results, so they're definitely confident.
Yes.
George, go ahead.
If it's not broken, don't fix it. 2-0 para o Porto, hoping for outro empatezinho.
Marco.
Hey, dude. Aqueles derbys do Porto são sempre difíceis, pá. E o Porto tem estado muito mal fisicamente. 1-1.
1-1.
Deus te ouça.
That's my score too, like Marco, 1-1. I think Boavista will score first, Porto will tie, and they'll finish that way. Boavista's been playing solid defense, and they won back-to-back games. So I think it'll be a 1-1. I don't see Porto winning without their fans, and also they're not playing well enough. Physically, they seem to be out of shape.
Bruno, with my results, Porto will be 2 points point in front because Benfica losing, Porto tied.
Well,
unless now pulls the first one and starts playing with the youth, then I could see Porto winning.
Conspiracy theories aside, that there is a spike of COVID-19 in Portugal. We're just waiting for Benfica to.
Hey, do you have time to get into that a little bit, Bruno, about this Champions League finals being in Lisbon? Do you have time or you don't?
I mean, we could we'll give you 90 seconds. Go ahead.
So, with this COVID-19 going on in Portugal and filled stadiums and everything closing in Portugal, I thought it was a huge mistake. I'm not saying by bringing the Champions League to Portugal, but filling up stadiums. I think this is going to backfire on Portugal, and it's going to backfire big time. My other thing is I'm a norteño, and infelizmente os dois ficam em Lisboa e não há nada para o Porto. The time difference between Porto and Lisbon is an hour and a half drive. I don't understand why they did it that way.
That's not what I heard. I heard that Estádio do Dragão, Estádio Dom Afonso Henriques is going to be the oitavos de final games are going to be going there, and then the semis and the finals are going to be in Lisbon.
No, that's not what I heard, dude. I heard that some of the Taça UEFA games might be going there, but the whole Champions League is going to be played between.
And I didn't hear anything about being with public. I heard about being in closed stadiums as well.
Yeah, I think it's closed stadiums.
Public.
I think it's closed stadiums. I think the alternative is Porto and Guimarães, just in case things go out of hand and they're going to have it. in Porto and Guimarães for the quarterfinals, but the semifinals and the finals have already been established that it will definitely be in Lisbon. Now, I find it very strange that they picked Lisbon for the simple fact that there is a spike going on in the city. I don't know why they would schedule in a city that there is an increase. The president of the federation, Fernando Gomes, has come out and said that he promises the city of Porto a European final by 2026.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, just keep in mind that the European Super Cup or the UEFA Super Cup was supposed to be played in Porto, and they took it away, and I think they scheduled it somewhere else. I mean, it is what it is. To me, if Porto's not in it, though, to me, it's whatever. If they want to have it in our stadium, make sure that they pay and make sure they clean everything when they leave.
I mean, to tell you the truth, as a Sportingista, I can care less if it's in Javalado. Sporting's not playing it, so I don't care.
So,
but Seth,
and
we
if-
finally
and
made
if-
it to a Champions League final.
Yeah, well, and if you were playing in it, you'd lose it like you lost the last one. At home.
Hey, listen,
George, you went to the Champions League final where we lost
guys-
it just like
you guys
lost
went
it.
to
No, it was a UEFA final.
It was a UEFA final. You guys went to
Right.
10 and you only won twice. You lost 8.
I know. É como Jorge Jesus diz, tem que se chegar lá primeiro para perdê-las.
Pois, mas perdê-las.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just busting your chop. No, listen, I think it's a great thing for Portugal that UEFA is showing confidence that we're able to host something like this under these conditions. So I think it's actually something good. I don't think it's bad. Maybe because Portugal is one of the countries with the lowest cases of COVID-19 and lowest deaths in COVID-19. So I think it's a great thing. Just Bruno, 1 minute. Just going back on this, I know we have a few listeners that wanted us to touch up a little bit on some other games from other championships. So I just highlight 2 games. So Wednesday, I believe it was Wednesday, there was the final of Coppa d'Italia between Juventus and Napolis, which ended in a win for Napolis in penalty kicks. This was the second straight loss for Cristiano Ronaldo in finals, which is the first time that ever happens in his glorious career. So just highlight that part. I see Marco laughing. I'm a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan, so I'm not saying anything bad. It was something that came in.
Coming from a Benfiquista, I understand. Every time Cristiano doesn't win a title, it's a title.
No, not for me. I'm a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan.
I can testify for George. He is. I can testify.
I'm a big.
It's just coming from him with I think.
All the Benfiquistas I know, the vast majority, they do like Cristiano Ronaldo. The vast majority.
And then the second game that I want to highlight, and it's teve protagonista ex-Sporting, was today's game between Tottenham and Manchester United that ended in 1-1, with Bruno Fernandes tying the game in the 84th, 86th minute of the game
with a PK.
And, just another one on Wednesday. It was Bayern Munich winning their 8th straight title. I think it's 29 or 30 titles overall since the Bundesliga was formed. That's a lot of titles. I mean, it's basically a one-team league. Let's be honest. Even though I support Dortmund, it's a team that is head and shoulders above everybody else. But that's what happens when you have a bigger budget. That also means we need salary cap in soccer. One day, hopefully, UEFA will hit it and get it right, and they'll put a salary cap because you're going to keep seeing it year after year. Bayern, Juve, so on and so forth. They're going to continue to win. And
we also had Barca today that tied 0-0, which after the Real Madrid win yesterday or the day before 3-0, it just puts Real Madrid ahead in the Spanish league as well.
Yeah.
Just
real quick
before you sign off, Bruno, I
Yeah.
want to thank you. I want to
You're welcome.
Thank
Thanks for coming on.
George and Steph for the invite, man. I had a good time for these last 2 hours, and appreciate it. For me, it's all in good fun, guys.
Oh,
You know,
definitely.
It
in
always
the
is.
future, I come on. I like to joke around. E amigos primeiro e clube segundo. Obrigado.
No problem. Anytime you want to come on, just give me a shout. Lastly, we had Malingas chime in on our chat. I have to call him Malingas because that's how Steph and I know him. He wanted me to read his scores: Sporting 2, Belenenses 0, Benfica and Santa Clara 1-1, Porto and Boa Vista 2-2. Malingas, make sure you pass along what you're smoking because that's crazy.
I'll take those scores.
Make sure everybody stays safe. We're going to be signing off. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed a very long show, but Marco was great. We had a great debate inside Sporting. If some guys don't really know what's going on, obviously these two guys know what's going on inside the Sporting world. I follow Marco very closely on his Facebook page. Go ahead. You want to do a little promotion on the Facebook page?
Hey, listen, first of all, it's not mine. It's of a good
right.
friend of mine, another Sportingista, Jeff Cabral. It's called Fan of Portuguese Soccer. Steph, George, you guys, Bruno, send them an invite. Bring them on.
I did. I sent them yesterday.
It's always a good, fun debate. We have a lot of fun, and it's nice. And there's some good discussion there as well.
Is it a podcast or?
No, it's just a Facebook page.
É Facebook page, man. É só mais sem brincadeira e discussion. And
I know, and I didn't get.
I pick all the Benfiquistas,
I didn't get a chance to talk about this. I mean, I know that there was a lot of activity on our Facebook page, Football No Filter. I didn't get a chance to talk to George and Steph about this. Just make sure that when you're on the Facebook page, make sure you're respectful to everybody else. Everybody has a different opinion. Even though you don't have to agree with it, make sure that you're just respectful about it. There was a lot of personal attacks on it. There was a lot of all that kind of nonsense. That nonsense is not necessary. And if you could continue to do it, then we're going to have to remove you from the page, which we don't want to do.
Hey, send me an invite to that page, Bruno.
I will do that. No problem. Just make sure that, again, you guys do what you got to do. Make sure you stay respectful. Make sure you stay safe. Everyone have a good week. Força Porto. Ciao, Laura.
Sporting.
Hi, guys.
Ciao.
See you. Thank you very much. Have a good week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.